Have you ever considered how a single, quiet moment, a misplaced step, a moment of distraction, can redefine the entire landscape of your future? For so many of us, a fall isn't a dramatic event with a loud warning. It happens silently, often during the most ordinary of tasks, and it can become the dividing line between living freely and a life dictated by fear and recovery. But what if I told you that building a foundation of safety isn't about grueling workouts or becoming someone you're not? It's about rediscovering the wisdom your body already has. We're going to explore 6 small, powerful shifts in the way you walk. These aren't just tips. They are proven techniques that can help you move with confidence again, one steady step at a time. Let's start with where you look. Think of your head as the locomotive of a train. Wherever it goes, the rest of your body is sure to follow. Consider 2 friends, Arthur and Evelyn. Arthur spends his walks staring down at his feet, convinced he's being careful. But with his chin tucked and his shoulders slumped, his balance is constantly compromised. When you look down, you're not just curving your spine, you're sending conflicting signals to your brain's balance center in your inner ear. Arthur often felt a vague sense of dizziness he couldn't explain, and his world had shrunk to the few feet of pavement in front of him. His friend Evelyn used to do the same thing until she learned a simple secret. She now keeps her gaze soft and focused about 15 feet ahead. Her head is held high, her spine is naturally aligned, and her body feels centered. Evelyn found that the world opened up again. She not only feels safer, but she started noticing the blooming flowers and smiling neighbors she never saw before, feeling more connected to her community. Here's how you can practice this. Find a picture on a wall down the hallway. Walk toward it, keeping your eyes gently fixed on that target. Feel how your posture naturally straightens. That feeling is stability. Next, let's talk about something most of us forget: our arms. Your arms are your body's natural counterweights. This gentle crossing motion is your body's way of neutralizing the rotational forces that happen with every step, keeping you from twisting and tipping. When we're anxious, we often pin them to our sides. Take Walter, for example. After a close call on an icy sidewalk last winter, he started walking with his arms locked stiffly, thinking it would give him more control. In reality, it made him more rigid and prone to tipping, like a statue. His neighbor, Clara, who uses a walker, showed him something her therapist taught her. Even while holding the walker, she consciously lets her free arm swing in gentle rhythm with her opposite leg. That small motion keeps her torso stable. She told Walter, "One swinging arm is 100 times better than none." Now, a common question is, what if you're carrying a purse or grocery bag? The key is to not let one task disable your entire balance system. If you can, switch the bag to your other hand periodically and always allow your free arm its natural swing. Try this right now, even while sitting. Let your arms swing gently, as if you're walking. Your body knows this movement. We just have to give it permission to do it again. Now let's move down to your feet. How your foot meets the ground is a quiet conversation about balance. Shuffling often starts as a fear-based habit. It feels safer because your feet are never far from the floor, but it's a dangerous illusion. George was a shuffler. He'd skim his feet across the floor, but then the edge of a rug or a transition strip would catch his toe and he'd stumble. His daughter, a nurse, showed him a different way. She had him stand at the kitchen counter, holding on for support, and practice marching in place, but with one specific instruction. He had to make sure his heel was the very first thing to touch the ground. Then he would roll his weight through the middle of his foot and push off with his toes. It felt strange at first, but after practicing for a few minutes each day, it started to feel natural. As you practice this, also pay attention to the width of your steps. Try to keep your feet about hip-width apart, not too close together. A slightly wider base gives you a much more solid foundation. George is not shuffling anymore, and his confidence has soared. What about the length of your stride? When we were younger, long, confident strides were a sign of vitality. Richard, a retired mail carrier, still walked with the same long gait he'd used for 40 years. But he noticed his knees were starting to ache, and he'd have moments of feeling dangerously off balance. That's because overstriding puts your center of gravity behind your feet. Each time your lead foot lands too far in front of you, it acts like a brake, sending a small jolt of impact right up through your heel, ankle, and knee. His friend Dorothy shared her secret. Take smaller, more compact steps. It's not about slowing down. In fact, she takes more steps per minute than Richard does. By keeping her feet more directly under her body, she remains perfectly centered and in control. Dorothy found that not only was she less wobbly, but the nagging ache in her knees began to fade because she was no longer fighting her own momentum with every step. If you're finding these small shifts helpful, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more content just like this, and it ensures you won't miss what's coming next. Of course, none of this works without your body's anchor, your core. Think of your core as the sturdy bridge connecting your upper and lower body. If that bridge is weak, the whole structure becomes wobbly. This isn't about having a flat stomach, it's about having a strong, functional center. David always complained of a tired lower back and felt like his legs were doing all the heavy lifting. His friend Susan gave him one simple piece of advice. She told him to imagine he was gently zipping up a tight pair of pants, pulling his belly button slightly in toward his spine. This small, invisible action engages the core muscles. He tried it and described the feeling as being plugged in for the first time, like his top and bottom halves were finally working together. Here's a way to build on that. Stand behind a sturdy chair, holding on lightly. Engage your core and then slowly lift one foot just an inch or two off the ground. Hold it for 5 seconds, then switch. This tiny movement wakes up all those stabilizing muscles. Finally, one of the most overlooked hazards isn't an object, but a change in scenery. As we get older, the communication between our feet and our brain can slow down just a fraction. Our visual system tries to compensate, so when it gets tricked, we're more vulnerable. Frank nearly slipped when he walked into his kitchen because the glare from the window on the polished linoleum confused his depth perception for a split second. His wife Helen now practices a simple but powerful mental cue. As she approaches a new surface, she quietly says to herself, "Tile now," or "Rug ahead." This simple act of naming the transition focuses her brain and prepares her body for the change. Your brain may also misinterpret a dark shadow on a light rug as a hole or a patterned carpet as an obstacle. Be an active observer of your environment. If you wear bifocals, be especially mindful on stairs, as the lenses can distort where the edge of the step truly is. You see, reclaiming your confidence isn't about a massive overhaul. It's about these small, wise choices. It's about remembering how to move with your body instead of against it. It's about walking not in fear, but in freedom. Every step you take with this new awareness is a quiet victory, a declaration that you are strong, you are stable, and you are in control. So I ask you, what is the one small shift you are ready to try this week? Share it in the comments. Let's walk this path together, one confident step at a time. If this message brought you value, please give it a like, share it with a friend or family member who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel for more videos to help you live a stronger, healthier life. Thank you for watching.